Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to be discussing the pike push-up and its multiple benefits. First thing we want to do is get into your pike push-up position. So how do you get in there? Go onto the ground in your basic push-up position, hands shoulder width apart. From here you start moving your feet forward and your hands back, and your hips are going to go up. So you're creating this angle at your hips, you're piking there. And from here you want to make sure that you're not on your heels. You stay on your toes so all that weight is forward. From here you're going to get your head slightly forward and keep your elbows tucked in and press up and all the way back. Same movement again, up and all the way back. So common mistakes that you're going to face with this exercise is you either let your chest open up, which is completely wrong. You don't want your chest to open up because you don't want any emphasis to come on the chest. You want all that emphasis to come onto the shoulders and your triceps. So make sure that your chest is closed throughout and you're not letting it rise or open up. Second mistake is staying on your heels. So what that'll do is it's just going to take all that pressure away, all that focus away from your upper body and onto your feet a little more. So make sure that you're staying on your toes, you're flexing your calves throughout. Third mistake is letting your elbows flare out. So you don't want your elbows to come in this direction at all at 90 degrees. You want them more tucked in throughout the movement so your head has some room to follow forward. So I'll show you those mistakes. First mistake is the chest opening up. Chest opens up, no emphasis on the shoulders or the triceps, barely any. So you don't want that. You want your chest to stay closed throughout. Second mistake, staying on your heels. Over here, I'm not really getting much of a shoulder workout. Yes, if you're a beginner, you can start like that, but ideally you want to be on your toes as you get a little more advanced. Last mistake is flaring your elbows. So as soon as you start flaring your elbows, you'll notice your head is going to come straight down in between your hands. That's not the ideal position for your shoulders as well. Too much internal rotation, you might mess your shoulder up. So you want your elbows to stay tucked in throughout. Next thing we want to discuss is how we will scale this exercise. So how we can scale it for more advanced athletes and how we can scale it for more beginner athletes who are just starting out. So let's just say you can't even do, you can't get into that position or you can't push back up from that position. Let's say you're at that level, what would you do from there? So you want to try and get as close to that position as possible, even if it means bending your knees that you don't have enough hamstring flexibility to get in there. But let's just say you want to bend your knees because it's hurting your hamstrings. You can't do that as well at the start. From here, you want to follow the same motions that I was talking about before, where you make sure your head is going to come slightly in front of your hands and your elbows are going to stay tucked in. And all you're going to do is control the motion all the way down, let your head touch the ground, get your knees back up, and go through the same motion all over again. The slower you do it, the more beneficial it will be for you. These are just controlled negatives, and hopefully it's going to give you the strength to start pushing back up as well. Okay, so for the most advanced athletes, how will you scale this exercise to make sure that you're still getting some sort of progressive overload? You can just use a box, a bench, a chair, any sort of elevated surface. From there, this is where you're going to keep your feet. Hands are going to stay on the ground. So place your feet, go into that push-up position. Start walking back with your hands without letting your feet walk back. Get your hips into this shape so you're almost in an L shape. From here, same focus. You don't want to stay too much on your legs. You don't want that weight to be too much on your feet. So you're going to keep all that weight onto your hands. Same protocols. Head comes slightly forward. Elbows stay tucked and you push up and all the way back. Okay, so one other mistake that is possible for a lot of people to encounter is that too much of your weight will be shifted onto the heel of your palm. So ideally, you want all that focus to be throughout your entire hand, evenly distributed. But let's just say if you're encountering that, what will it look like? So you're going to go for your pike push-up, and when you're pushing back up, your elbows are going to stay a little further away from your wrist. So your wrist is here, your elbows all the way here. You see this angle? That's the angle you don't want to be at. Ideally, you want your elbow to be as on top of your wrist as possible. for all that emphasis to come onto your tricep, your shoulders, and the primary goal of this exercise to build that shoulder strength. So come down, don't let your elbows travel back as you start pushing up. Make sure that your elbows are as on top of your wrists as possible. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. That was the pike push-up, and whether you are a seasoned athlete or whether you are just starting off your training, this is a great exercise to include into your routine. I've given you all the nuances for the exercise, how to perform it perfectly. Obviously it's not going to be perfect every single time, but just try and make it as close to perfect as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who'd like to learn how to do the pike push-up. Thank you.